our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map. Lelo bwacha bakamba mukyalo kyesu kya Zambia ekyaweka njoy. Abantu bafa bakamba kule kumumfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe pati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to arufyanye. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to get big man. Fish to arufyanye bakubika office. Fish to arufyanye. Why me? Missing. Achani Ruba Mwaicho and Bizona. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo HH. Wala tupisha bega kutupisha bagamba. Katwale kya kulanda big man. Why you think? Maana watata. Zambia tuwasevana. Bagamba. Waneza tuwapweni. Mujala chetu. Iti ya Zambia. Tuamona mwepwa. Bagamba. Tuamona mwepwa. Nama abductions bagamba. Owo muteko tuwaleta. Wadulete lama. Amazala mush. No you can take her. Kola ipompa today. No you can take her. Apa number bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you die kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Ika yako. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuliati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mayona batata. Mayona batata. Bayuthi. Tyentuisuli amenso. Tyentuisuli amenso. Batusendela nomba batwipaila na hope Yesu. Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani kwa chila plan B. Nomba tuwadishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa. Bantu banga abalafa mukyalo kyesu kya Zambia. Nibanga abantu abala abducted mukyalo kyesu kya Zambia. Bambire kuli jeje banda. Nibanga abantu abala mu prison. Abena kitotela kilangwa. Wote baba prison n'entunguru kina shimbi na shimbi. Muli one government ya kwa HH. Abantu naba famweleza. Aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chakwa lungu atukwatile plan B. Apa kubo byabyo mufulo big man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Bilabine batsetela yetika chakwa lungu. Apa nomba bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakuvota bane. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Wakufuatika fuatika. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. When you die kwa fwe. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Aikona man. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Ita yako. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. Yakuliati kwenyu. Mufulo pa mufulo. Mufulo pa mufulo. HH does not mean well for Mother Zambia. Zambia to Asebana, this is not the Mother Zambia that we were left with by our ancestors, our forefathers who fought so hard to liberate us. Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, Nalumino Mundia, Mama Julia Chikamoneka, Simon Mwansaka Pwepwe, they fought so hard to put this country on the map, to put this country where it is today. No man would destroy this country because we believe in unity. One Zambia, one nation, and we shall together we will change, and we are going to change this government. My name is Blaze Zambia.
Your Excellency, the country would want to know what excites you know, when you were at the helm of this country for 27 years. I'm sure there must be one moment you can point out to.
No, I think that my happiness, Owen, is that up to this point in time, as I've said already, I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of splitting Zambia. Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed. This what he's.
Okay, so we.
No, I think he will finish it that one.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man who is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running his
UPND?
UPND, that's right. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties, I can't see any one of them trying to destroy one Zambia, one nation.
Wish you well. Your Excellency, the country would want to know what excites you know, when you were at the helm of this country for 27 years. I'm sure there must be one moment you can point out to.
No, I think that my happiness, Owen, is that up to this point in time, as I've said already, I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of splitting Zambia. Apart from this is my head man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed. This is what he's.
Okay, so we.
No, I think he will finish it that one.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man who is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running his
UPND?
UPND, that's right. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties, I can't see any one of them trying to destroy one Zambia, one nation.
Wish you well.
Yesterday, June 18th, the people of Zambia were prepared to receive the remains of our former president. Yesterday, June 18th, the people of Zambia were prepared to receive the remains of our former president, but were surprised by the family's reversal of their agreed course of action. At our request, the South African government prepared extensively with military honors mounted by the South African Defence Force, who did so in vain, as the former president's body was not availed by the family for repatriation to Zambia. For this unfortunate situation, we extend our sincere apologies to President Ramaphosa, the government, and the people of South Africa. Fellow citizens, our country cannot afford a state of indefinite mourning. We've done everything possible to engage the family of our departed 6th Republican president, and we've reached a point where a clear decision has to be made. Given these circumstances, I therefore wish to inform the nation that as of the end of today, the 19th of June 2025, this particular national mourning period is officially over. This will allow the country to begin to return to some normalcy.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
On an out-of-court settlement of a dispute over the former president's funeral. The Zambian government had obtained a court order blocking Lungu's burial in the neighboring South Africa last month. Lungu's family had announced that he would be buried privately in Johannesburg on June 25th, 2025. The family's decision came after it failed to reach a mutually acceptable funeral plan with the government of President Hakainde Hichilema. Initially, Lungu's body was to be flown to Zambia's capital, Lusaka, on June 18th ahead of a 3-day public viewing, a funeral service on June 22nd and burial on June 23rd. However, that plan collapsed at the last minute despite the South African government lining up military commanders at a Johannesburg airport to bid farewell to the former Zambian leader. President Hichilema would later publicly apologize to South Africa. Lungu and Hichilema had strained relations with both sides, often accusing the other of political targeting during their respective presidencies. Lungu died of an undisclosed illness while receiving treatment in South Africa's capital, Pretoria, on June 5th. In April this year, Zambia's Information Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana had disclosed that Lungu was undergoing chemotherapy for cancer. Upon Lungu's death, his family said that he had left instructions that President Hichilema should not attend his funeral. But following a round of meetings in South Africa, Lungu's family and the Zambian government agreed that President Hichilema would attend and preside over Lungu's state funeral. But that did not come to pass after Lungu's family announced he would be buried in South Africa due to unresolved issues with the Zambian government. And now, to end the impasse, Zambia, through Information Minister Cornelius Mwetwa, says it has written to Lungu's family to have the dispute resolved out of court. The matter of Lungu's burial venue is scheduled for full hearing at the Pretoria High Court on August 4th. Lungu, who died aged 68, served as Zambia's 6th president from 2015 to 2021.
Lamora from South Africa in charge of international relations. We're very delighted that President Ramaphosa has sent the minister and his delegation to allow us to have a conversation, a decent one for that matter, in resolving the challenge that we're faced with. The country is aware of the challenge. We don't have to reiterate that. And our wish has been very clear to that would like the mortal remains of President Lungu, our sixth president, to be buried in his home country, Zambia, and not in any other country. And I think these are the issues amongst many we have discussed. We are grateful to President Ramaphosa for his graciousness, his government, the people of South Africa, for the courtesies that they extended to us, starting with the medical facilities of our sixth president, and then the demise and the subsequent, honors that they accorded or intended or agreed to accord to our President Lungu. On the Wednesday, we were supposed to repatriate the body, and we also have apologized to the President and the people of South Africa for the inability to exclude that mission, and but we continue seeking a solution, a civilized solution, and I say the two sister countries, brother countries, we're one people. South Africans and Zambians people. We have different laws that apply in our countries, South Africa and Zambia, but we want to see if we can bridge those issues. And I'm very happy with the meeting we've had, and cordial, quite illustrative, hearing each other out. And I must say also, Minister, I was grateful that you visited the funeral house in South Africa. I think that's the way it should be. Funeral house of our late.
Originally, why we changed was because we wanted a tamper-proof casket. Because people, with rituals and things like that, people really are after his body or his body parts or whatever. So we wanted something that is tamper-proof. So that is why the casket was changed in the first place.
And so you can confirm that right now he's lying in a tamper-proof casket. But getting that tamper-proof casket, obviously, as you're saying, you wanted a tamper-proof casket. Where had you gotten the idea that somebody may want to tamper with his body, somebody may have an interest in any of his body parts? And could this really be the reason why you guys have decided against the mausoleum and not exactly the issue of trying to cut costs?
True, he wants to be, he said so. So, we are trying to follow his wishes.
But just to interject there, you have given me that the bit of the wish, indeed, and we totally agree. But you still haven't told me where the idea that you need a tamper-proof casket, because he didn't say he wanted a tamper-proof casket. The idea of wanting that tamper-proof casket and the fact that they may be interested in tampering with his body, where did that come from specifically?
It came from him, because he said to his wife, to Auntie Grace, that, if and when I'm gone, don't leave my body and be careful, people want to use my body. It was him who said it to the former First Lady. So we knew that, spiritually he probably knows something.
That also speaks to the fact that we also didn't see him being laying at least overnight at One Commando, as usually is the case. And that probably is that, are you confirming that's why also the family kept him at home and didn't leave him at One Commando and didn't leave him out of sight, because that's his expressed wishes before he died? Are you...
From what we see, what we read, they are handling the funeral in the manner African funerals must be handled, to respect the dead, to bury them with dignity. President Buhari died in London. He was brought home. We too have shown that example by burying all the five before the sixth president, near here. I think it's just behind, isn't it? Near here, all the five. So we've established a tradition, protocols in line with the African culture. So we must continue with that culture, no matter what challenges, what difficulties there are. And I can't say that we've continued engaging the family quietly. Maybe I should confirm that. We've continued engaging the family quietly, because that's what it should be. And we do hope that consensus will be reached. And I want to ask Zambians, first, thank you for your patience, and secondly, to ask you to retain that patience as discussions continue, and so we can do what is.
Wonderful day that the Lord has made, and we shall be very glad in it. These are instructions from the word of our Lord Jesus Christ. It's a wonderful day that the Lord has made, and we shall be glad in it. We have various updates to give you, but we'll concentrate on just two, and we'll quickly open phone lines because we want this to be a program, because these matters are public interest matters. The matters regarding, number one, the standoff between the family of the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, and President Hakainde Hichilema on the other side, and the state. And this Bill 13, the Lands and Deeds Registry Amendment Act that government is pushing very hard, especially State House, to shift powers from the Lands Tribunal Court to an individual, a junior officer at the Ministry of Land, a registrar, like a registrar of societies. This, I think, has caused alarm in all stakeholders. So we'll discuss those two issues quickly, and we'll invite you to participate in this discussion. These are very public matters, and we want to hear you and your concerns. Let's start with the matter in South Africa. There's a calendar. Remember, the state on 25th June sued the family of the late President Edgar Lungu. They sued the widow, the children, and the cousin, I think the cousin to the late president, including the spokesperson and the undertaker, the place handling the remains of the late president. They were sued that they shouldn't proceed with the funeral and burial of the late president. And since then, the court gave a calendar of events. The Attorney General should file his arguments. There should be a return by the family also to respond to the Attorney General. Then there'll be a court trial that should start on 4th August. Then judgment will be delivered on 18th August. So the Attorney General submitted his case to court. He said they were entitled, as government, to bring and repatriate the remains of the late president to Zambia. They demanded that the family and the government of South Africa, who they now added the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation to the legal suit, to compel the South African government, to compel the widow and the family to surrender the remains to the Zambian government, and that those remains were going to be repatriated to Zambia for state funeral and burial. The family has responded. The family is very categorical. The state government, President Hakainde Hichilema, have no role. They have no right to the remains of the late president. These remains are a subject of interest for the surviving, the widow and the family. The next of kin are the ones that are entitled to. And they've stated that the laws that the Attorney General is submitting in Zambia could apply in Zambia. They don't apply in South Africa. And there is no such things as cultural traditions. And that the precedent that government is relying on is a faulty one. You cannot just bulldoze yourself against the wishes of the family and the late president on account that the person who died was a former head of state. And then remember, we are dealing with a former head of state whose rights were taken away, whose privileges as former head of state were stripped. And we have shown letters in the past where even his office as the 6th president was closed. We showed you the letter of Dr. Oliver Kalabo, who's Deputy Secretary to Cabinet, who wrote a letter to the president on just the following day, on 29th October 2023, the day after the late president announced that he was returning to active politics. So they wrote him a letter that they would take away the security, the state security, they would take away the cost of benefits. They will take away, they wrote to PSMD that his salary that is entitled to, 80% of that salary should be taken away. They took away all his entitlement for medicals and holidays. Then they also closed his office as the office of the 6th president. We have shown you that letter, and that letter is among the bundles of documents that have been submitted to the South African court. So the family has argued that even these privileges you want to assert didn't exist for 2 years because you even closed the office of the late president. Surprise, surprise. This evening, there was a demand letter that has been, that we've come across, where the Attorney General is saying his client and public interest and personal interest would like to see the body, and that they've sent a representative to South Africa to see the body, and they've said the representative of President Hakainde Hichilema is ready beginning today. The representative, I'm saying President Hakainde Hichilema because he's a state, he's the one that has sued. He's the one that, because even in that wording, they are using public and personal interest. So they are saying for public, you and me, personal interest, President Hakainde Hichilema, they need to see the body. And they are saying this is for purposes of authentication, this is for purposes of confirming, and that they want the family to access the body in between today, 29th, up to 1st August. The representative is already in South Africa to look at the body, inspected. Remember, on 25th June, when the court gave, the Gauteng Court, Pretoria Division, gave a court order, among the issues it directed were that the only people allowed to be with the body was the family. Respondent number 1 was Mama Esther Lungu, up to respondent 7, which includes the spokesperson for the family. The family, the widow, the children, the family spokesperson are the only ones entitled to see the body. Any other matter you want access, you have to go back and seek permission from court. The attorney generals, however, written through their lawyers, VFV attorneys, that they already have a representative in South Africa to look at the remains of the late president. Now, the wording is like I said, public. They are using public and personal interest. Public interest, we know. Personal interest. Whose personal interest do they wish to see the remains of the late president? Whose personal interest? Have you come across that letter? Should I read it? You can tell me in the comment if you want me to read the letter from the lawyers. I can read it. It's just 4 paragraphs. But in case you haven't, if you've seen it, we can just proceed with the discussion. But in the comments, if you want me to read the letter from the latest document from the lawyers for the state, for the Attorney General, I can read you the letter. I have the letter. Now, the fascination about the body is a reason we have this standoff. When President Edgar Lungu died, on Thursday, 5th June 2025, Mulambo Haimbe, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, arrived in South Africa. One reason, to pick the body. He had the Zambia Air Force plane waiting at Lanseria Airport. The family said, whoa, take a minister, take a. No, we have to take the body because the president has instructed that I should return with the body. We are ready to buy the casket and we want to go with the body because the president has to declare a period of national mourning. The family said, Imwe, ba president na president, ba late president, mwalishwa pali ba impasse. From 2021, your president has harassed the president. He came here, the last 6 months he's been here. You have not even cared to find out where he stays, how he feeds, how he pays for his medical bills, how he sustains himself. The entire 6 months he's been here in South Africa. You just can't come up in one day and demand the remains that you want to take them to Zambia. That was the first standoff. They held him. The president died on Thursday. They held another meeting Friday evening when Mulambo Haimbe arrived. There was that discussion. On Saturday, they had another meeting. The family insisted, we have lined up activities. The latest we can be in Zambia is on Wednesday because on Tuesday, we have allowed the family to host a church service for the South African community. It's a tradition by the Zambians in South Africa to mourn any Zambian that dies in South Africa. They usually hold this funeral. There's a chaplains under ZASA, which is very active, and you have Catholic priests and the Catholic community, which are also very active, led by, Father Harrison Mulenga and others. So they said, no, we've lined up this activity on Tuesday. On Monday, we saw the withdrawal of Mlambo Haimbe, and we saw the arrival of Secretary to Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa. He was accompanied by 2 senior people in our country, former Vice President Enoch Kavindele and former Secretary to Cabinet Leslie Mbula. The family was immediately offended because for Enoch Kavindele had already issued some terrible statement just a week before. Leslie Mbula has consistently issued disparaging remarks against the late president. So the matter immediately went into a standoff because the family was not willing to discuss with the special envoys that were sent. And Patrick Kangwa then reverted. I think he must have spoken to the president and then began to engage the family without these special envoys. On Tuesday, the church service took place, wonderful church service at the Pretoria Cathedral, where the Zambian community in South Africa attended. And at the end of that service, you saw the family spokesperson come to the podium and announce that we had agreed that we had announced that the body would return to Zambia on Wednesday. Unfortunately, it would not, because we are still engaged in discussion and everyone will be informed. The country became aware of the standoff that had been existing since Saturday, since the case of Mlambo Haimbe. They went into negotiation. I think it was a give and take situation. The family finally accepted Honorable Enoch Kavindele and Honorable Leslie Mbula to be part of the negotiating team. And the negotiating team began to expand. More people arrived as the talks were going. And finally, we had that breakthrough where an announcement was made that the body would return, I think, to Lusaka on 18th June, and that burial would take place on 23rd June. It was not to be. A day before the body could be repatriated to Zambia, we saw an announcement by the Road Development Agency, and they stated that we're going to close the Leopard Zoo Road from Crossroad. That's a road that takes you to Chifwema. And the family was alarmed. This was the night before they were to repatriate the body the following day. Announcements were made, preparations were made, the country was moving smoothly. Everyone was waiting for the remains of the late president to arrive on 18th June. So the family picked a call. When someone has alerted us that you close the road going to Chifwema. Remember, there was a detailed agreement that the body will arrive on this date. It will arrive at the airport. Military honors, the body will go to Chifwema, and body viewing the following day at Mulungushi International Conference. The period will go up to valedictory at the Supreme Court because President Edgar Lungu was a lawyer. And Saturday, Sunday, there will be that special service for people who come from the region, the heads of states and former heads of state, that was going to be hosted by President Hakainde Hichilema. Monday, the funeral service at the showgrounds, open to the public, and burial to take place at Embassy Park. All sorted out. But that night, before they could leave, we saw that announcement, public announcement, that the road to Chifwema, which will be a route for the remains of the late president, will be closed by the Road Development Agency because they were going to do some works. The family spokesperson immediately alerted his contact person in government, who was the Secretary to Cabinet. This was around 20 hours. Secretary to Cabinet, we have an issue here. Why are you closing Chifwema, the road leading to Chifwema? The Secretary to Cabinet said, no, that should be an oversight. But you are the same government. Everyone knows where Chifwema is, where the late president lives. And everyone has been following these matters. And we are still in a period of national mourning. So how is RDA beginning these works tomorrow to do this road? Remember, we are living in an atmosphere of suspicions. The two parties are suspicious of each other. Even when they are negotiating, they don't trust one another. because trust has broken down. President Hakainde Hichilema had spent a lot of time harassing his predecessor. He was also accusing his predecessor that when he was president, he harassed him when he was in opposition. And the period leading to now the loss of the president was, you can imagine the atmosphere was quite difficult. So within an hour, and credit to Patrick Kangwa, a letter was given to the family, a copy of the letter to the family, where the Road Development Agency suspended the works. They were supposed to start on 18th of June, and they suspended them to 10 days later, way after the funeral had passed. So the family was reluctant, but was satisfied they had received the letter and that the Secretary to Cabinet had acted promptly to their concerns. Just as they were dealing with this matter of Chifwema Road, Leopards Hill Road and Chifwema, a program leaked. Causeway, a rogue media from State House, published the detailed program. There was nothing wrong with the detailed. Cabinet Office, I have stated on this program that I saw the program from Naomi Teta Mashimba. She put it on her page. And then, it proliferated. It was on other pages as well. Of concern to that program were a clear departure to what had been agreed. First, the family were very shocked that in the program, upon arrival, when they bring the body, that there will be a church service that would occur at a designated place. Remember, the entire airport was going to be cordoned off. Security was going to be at maximum. And then there was this church service, undefined, which was going to be conducted by who? Unknown. In a designated place. Which designated place was this church service going to take place? At the airport. Every detail, every comma was agreed upon in the agreement. And I think I can play. For Makebi Zulu, he made it very clear, at least he read out what they had agreed. I think he wanted to commit government. So in the presence of Secretary to Cabinet and the entire negotiating team, Makebi Zulu was brave to read a detailed program from A to Z. So at least we have an idea of what the program was. And that particular church service at the airport was not part of it. And you and I know a church service is a church service. There'll be body viewing, there'll be prayers, there'll be... So who had included this and who was going to conduct this? Who was going to see this body? The family raised alarm. There was another one on Thursday, I think a provision on Thursday that stated that when the body viewing begins on Thursday, because the family had expressed the wish of President Lungu and the family that as far as possible, the current president, President Hakainde Hichilema, must be very distant from the funeral, extremely distant. He was allowed the church service or memorial that was going to take place on Sunday, that Sunday 22nd, because he was going to host his fellow presidents and fellow dignitaries. That was sealed. But in this program, President Hichilema now had the church service at the airport. And now on Thursday, when the body was supposed to be given to Zambians at Mulungushi International Conference, they want to flag off that to see the body first was President Hakainde Hichilema. You have seen that program. If you haven't seen it, we can make it available. You can see it on our pages. So the family again called, Bakangwa, nge program. No, I don't know about this program. I don't know who has released this. Premature. But the details in the program, trust immediately broke down. Because remember, there was no trust in the first place. There were just threshold. There were very thin threads holding the trust between the family and President Hakainde Hichilema. And immediately it broke down. When everyone became aware of it, everyone was angry. What is this? We have made it very clear. President Hakainde Hichilema must be very distant from the remains of the late president. What is causing these anxieties? Why does he want to have a private church service at the international airport when the body arrives? Why does he want to be the first one to flag off this, when the body is allowed to be seen by the public, at Mulungushi International Conference? Why should he be the first one to do that? Yet the instructions were very clear. That was the last communication by State House, by the family and cabinet. Again, to his credit, Patrick Kangwa issued a brief notice to tell the country that they should disregard the earlier program. But trust had broken down. And the program, as detailed as it was, revealed a complete departure to what was agreed. That was not the only item. There were other items where government had totally departed from what they had agreed with the family. But the following day, the family made a firm decision because there were now other activities. The following day, everyone had packed to come to Zambia, to go to Lanseria. There was a military honors mounted by the South African government that was supposed to take place. Everyone was ready, SABC, NCA, everyone, including our media, they were at Lanseria. But the family had to make a very difficult and hard decision because words had filtered. First of all, the roads were closed. From Chifwema, the entire lineup, I think it's about 12 kilometers from Chifwema, Leopard Zoo Road, all the way on Great East Road up to the airport. And then the road from the airport turn-off in Charleston up to the airport was clogged with security, and they had literally fenced off that entire road with the lying and kusondela. They had just closed it off. Even family, remember there was a group of former ministers' spouses who were supposed to receive the former First Lady. Even they couldn't have access to the airport. The family made a very difficult decision that the environment was hostile. The environment was not suitable to mourn or, for the country to receive the body of the late president. And that government was departing. Government clearly nichofie umoleso muinavela ile program ngataya fumine. What they had planned is what was going to happen. So the family, on the side of caution, postponed to bring the body to Zambia. And you remember that the family spokesperson had to make that announcement. It was read by the sister to the late president. And everyone called on President Hakainde Hichilema to back down. Everyone, the church, everyone just said, Mr. President, delegate. There's no need for this tension. Let us bury in peace. Why don't you adhere to what we've agreed, Mr. President? Everyone pleaded with the president. Everyone. And I'm looking for that video. Just a minute, so that we are all flowing at the same time. Yeah, so that we are all flowing at the same time. Everyone just advise the president, stand down, Mr. President. You can delegate, adhere, stick to the program. Stick to the program that has been announced. Let me just look for that video briefly. Let me just...
Those who voted for change must have now realized that the president they voted for has kept this country paralyzed. If you voted for him, but you're also feeling the pain, I hope you do your best to see it never happens again. Those who voted for change must have now realized that the president they voted for has kept this country paralyzed. if you voted for him, but you're also feeling the pain. I hope you do your best to see it never happens again. Those who voted for change.
Your Excellency, the country would want to know what excites you know, when you were at the helm of this country for 27 years. I'm sure there must be one moment you can point out to.
No, I think that my happiness, Owen, is that up to this point in time, as I've said already, I've not come across a single man in politics who is today thinking of spreading Zambia. Apart from this is my aid man in Zimbabwe, this is the southern province. He tried to do that, I think, but he didn't succeed. This is what he's.
Okay, so we.
No, I think he will finish it as well.
Okay.
This is my southern province. What is he? The man is running his party.
Which one? Magande?
No. Oh, no.
He comes from Southern Province.
Southern Province, yes. This man who is he?
Hakainde Hichilema.
Hakainde
Hichilema.
Hichilema.
Hakainde Hichilema.
Who running his
UPND?
UPND. Apart from that, there is no other leader I can fear to run this country. All these others who are running parties, I can't see any one of them trying to destroy one side or one nation.
Wish you well.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
That's the video I was looking for. There are other voices, we have them, but it will take away from our analysis. But the latest is President Hakainde Hichilema, through his Attorney General, has sent a representative to South Africa to have access to the body. They say they want to authenticate, they want to confirm, they want to inspect the body of the late president. Their lawyers, VFV attorneys, have written that strong letter, and they're even threatening the family that if you don't give us access to the body, we'll go back to court, because the court order gave you access to the body, only you, but they said you could grant us access. So there's already that crisis. President Hakainde Hichilema tatwishiwo batumine, but at South Africa, the lawyers are saying beginning today that person is ready to inspect the body. Let's analyze that briefly. Before we go to the mystery, the mischief, no blush, let's go. Let us assume that they want to authenticate. What would they want to authenticate? When President Edgar Lungu died, other than the family confirming that President Lungu had died, President Cyril Ramaphosa issued his condolences. President Jacob Zuma issued their condolences, and other leaders. Remember, it took 7 days for President Hakainde Hichilema to speak on this matter, but other presidents were already announcing the death of the late president. And former President Uhuru Kenyatta penned a very personal letter that he had lost a personal friend. Is there a dispute that President Edgar Lungu died? That would be preposterous. Clearly to be preposterous. First, he died in South Africa. In fact, at a commercial hospital associated with some of President Hakainde Hichilema's friends and partners. You know, remember Netcare and others are private hospitals run by business entities. This is a matter the president can easily verify. Two, they have a death certificate. And in that death certificate, they had even ridiculed the family by publishing such a secret document, such a confidential document. Because to repatriate the remains of the late president, a death certificate has to be issued. For a death certificate to be issued, there has to be doctors that have to sign. For doctors to sign, they have to see the body. Moment wakwalesa teku Zambia, where you can manufacture material document, my constituents material. No. South Africa has rigid laws, and there are ramifications if you participate in fraud. So this particular matter is hurting the family. Why do they want to authenticate? What do they mean, authenticate? These are just injurious words against the family and against even South African government. Would South African authorities issue a death certificate based on what? What would they issue a death certificate for? I think Kuzame twaliberefya kufoja and you know, and people think that you can get away with it. This is a very serious matter. You've seen the grieving widow. To date, she's still in deep grief. If you see, anytime anyone visits her, she again just goes into that deep grief. But President Hakainde Hichilema has been very insensitive. When there was an application before court, Koswe, you remember Koswe is run from State House. And I've always said, it looks like President Hakainde Hichilema is an administrator to that page. We know the boys that are under media who run Koswe. But because he has failed to close that page, it looks like he's also a co-administrator. So Koswe was running parallel stories. Now they've produced documents from Zimbabwe. No, they've produced... You saw that day there was a lot of anxieties in our country. Yet none of that happened. This was a mere application for interdict. Let the funeral not take place. We have consensus. Former president of Zambia, we want him to be buried in Zambia. In fact, the judges, as being Africans, the deputy president of that court, of that court, himself sat among the three judges. And they were very sympathetic. They said, we will use this opportunity, we'll stop the funeral and burial. But we hope that the state and the family can come together, resolve this matter, and put to rest the late president in an amicable, in a respectable and dignified manner. But what was Koswe running? Insults and insults against the late president. And then their praise singers rose in unison to ridicule the family and the late president. So you cannot in one way want a body, but in the other way, you create this hostile environment for the family even to fear to come back to Zambia. What circumstances like those can the family accept that President Edgar Lungu be put to rest in a dignified, respectful manner? It would simply mean they'll be participating in hypocrisy, because that means they have to close their eyes and shut their ears and see that they have not seen any of these things that President Hakainde Hichilema is doing. I think that's a matter where they've refused to participate in that hypocrisy. He can have his own hypocrisy. He can host his own funeral. There's even a bigger hypocrisy. President Hakainde Hichilema keeps on telling every guest to State House that he's not moving because he's mourning the late president. Is that how you mourn the late president? Tormenting the widow, suing the family. Now you are ridiculing them. You have sent Kashinga Nibana ni Mutumine. Bese bamone Chitumbi. You know. What is this obsession with the body? What is this obsession with the body? And you say you want to put him to rest in a dignified manner. I've got a video where the president was saying, that when he met the American ambassador, let me just check for it. When he met the American ambassador, he told the American ambassador that he hasn't been moving, he hasn't gone anywhere. He hasn't gone to Luindi ceremony. He hasn't gone to Mutomoko because he's mourning the late president. Is this how you mourn the late president? Then he lies that he's negotiating with the family. Who? The family is asking. The people you have sued who are in court are asking, who are you negotiating with? Who are you speaking to when you say we are quietly engaging the family? Publicly or quietly, they have not seen you engage with the family. And how about withdrawing the case if you are really negotiating with the family? That should be the start.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
The government was ready and willing to have President, 60th President remains brought to Zambia and be buried with all honors, befitting a former Republican
with the
president.
condition that President Hakainde Hichilema should not.
When you remove President Hakainde Hichilema in the equation, you must be out of your mind, because President Hakainde Hichilema, as far as we are concerned, he's the head of the Republic of Zambia at the moment. And you cannot take that away, regardless of what you feel or what you have for him to say, look, this gentleman should not be there. Those are imaginations. Some of us have indicated sitting here that I know President Lungu, and at nowhere where it's written that President Lungu said, if I die, the one who challenged me or beat me in an election should not be part of my burial. Never. It was never there.
How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and we need to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing, I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, because how can you, Ambassador, a Catholic, be remembered in a Jehovah's Witness hall?
Yeah.
Leero bwakya bakamba mu kyalo ky'esu kya Zambia ekyaweka Njoy. Abantu baafa bakamba kule mu nfumbwe. More than 20 people balebe epati ni babiri. Bagamba. Fish to Arufyanya. People have died. Mumino yabakapokola. The police killing people. Why? In the same government bagamba. Abductions have happened. Bagamba. If you're not with them, it's either you're dead or you're in prison. This government, you're going to change big man. Fish to Arufyanya pakukubika mu office. Fish to Arufyanya. Why me? Missing. Achani ruba mwaicho and dishonor. Where is why me? HH, tell us with your government, where is why me? Give us why me. Justice for why me, big man. Wachila mo HH. Wala tupwisha bega kutupwisha bagamba. Tetwale kyo kulanda big man. My youth. Maina watata. Sambe tuwasevana. Mweneza tokweni Mujala tetu Iti ya Zambia Tuamona mwempwa Bagao Tuamona mwempwa Nama objection bagao Owo muteko toaleta Wadulete lama Amazara mush No you can take Kola ipompa chureka No you can take Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu taya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Itaya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yakuriati kwenyu kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Mayona batata Mayona batata Bayuthi Tentwisuli amenso Tentwisuli amenso Batusendela nomba batwipaira na hope Yesu Endika chagwa lungu watubela tinani kwa tila plan B Nomba tuwalishiba plan B aba mmino ya kualesa Bantu banga abala fa mucharo chesu cha Zambia Nibanga abantu abala ababducted mucharo chesu cha Zambia Bambire kuli jeje mbanda Nibanga abantu abala aba prison Abena chitotela chilangwa Wonze baba prison netunguru shina shimbi Muri one government ya kwa HH Abantu na abafa mweleza Aikata nomba baikata na kuyetika chakwa lungu atukwatile plan B Apa kubo vya mufulo mingi man Mufulo pa mufulo Bilamine manzetela etika chakwa Apa nomba bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakuvota bane Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wakufuatika fuatika Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Wenyu taya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Aikona man Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Itaya kwa kwe Mufulo pa mufulo Mufulo pa mufulo Yakuriati kwenyu Mufulo pa mufulo
I'll reduce myself. Whether I'm in business or not business, let me be. My sister, if I'm not in airlink, ndiamu airlink, kusanga pali katoto bwe. Walisha kafuswa. Pali, kama thugs wama madero. Tavena nekiwe. Wafyasa mkumposha Laki naza kere kunuma Mune ya kuchiriro Na chawe ndao Cape Town Mwana ali chutu kokuru Ako ndao Cape Town So na hivo wale mpiki na mulembela message nati Na papata Uweisa nsenda Pantu wala kuishwa tuwa kwa embassy Na wale Na ono hasuka Na lembe pana lembe wa Friday Kwa Friday Ensenda na lafu haweza ni mizi Pia kumapa airport Don't worry Ni mwande South Africa Efo watu wafikire Na kwa nindea connecting Na hafu bila na kumbi Na zita Na eba na ba interconnect Hotel wampe vandetela na motoka Kostu waliishi wana Na tindetele ni motoka Ndia paso itu walikupritori Efo watu sneak out
Now bashala na baprankamana ku
na baprankamana kwa wale checking where I'm going kanji ni mfuma so bena tawashilo kushibati ndimu thing so nikashandi program hiyo na chipuisha lero around 10 hours
ushabuchiri ku South Africa
ushabuela
no wonder ndekiro okutumina nomoko
yes that's why so ni murumu pano na chiwera
kumingala to
ukumaking sure that tuwapampamisha
I see
yes from where you go initially na chilingo kushita join as leader of opposition kujoina yes so na chafe minga to shimbi so natira twise ku Zambia My sister, when our boss, the next move, you and me, our boss, pange, twalabika charity, tupange abantu mulungu bachite demonstrate. Neumfa?
Oh.
Njava mfukishe nkashiyani. Bajaji bakuno bakapanga ruling based on the public outcry in Zambia to support the Attorney General.
Okay.
So abantu bafire wako pa street.
Okay.
Bama chinga, nama plakasi, cover belt, Lusaka, Eastern. You get the point?
Yes.
Therefore, about the ECL no ifwe. Therefore, about the president was therefore, but I'm fitting the PF.
Nomboko ba judge balanda kuti bafilwa government to government kuti bafilwa
apa one judge afuna okulya.
Oh,
because the laws ya muno yali ba wiki when nga chaisa pamfwa family yali kwatapo maka pamfwa.
Oh, I get it.
Boma.
I get it.
Yesterday, June 18th, the people of Zambia were prepared to receive the remains of our former president, but were surprised by the family's reversal of their agreed course of action. At our request, the South African government prepared extensively with military honors mounted by the South African Defense Force, who did so in vain, as the former president's body was not availed by the family for repatriation to Zambia. For this unfortunate situation, we extend our sincere apologies to President Ramaphosa, the government, and the people of South Africa. Fellow citizens, our country cannot afford a state of indefinite mourning. We've done everything possible to engage the family of our departed 6th Republican president, and we've reached a point where a clear decision has to be made. Given these circumstances, I therefore wish to inform the nation that as of the end of today, the 19th of June 2025, this particular national mourning period is officially over. This will allow the country to begin to return to some normalcy.
The country tried to move to normalcy except President Hakainde Hichilema. After that, the family had no choice. The man cancelled the period of national mourning. It was supposed to go up to 23rd. This was on 19th. He cancelled the period of national mourning. And he says, look, they can do whatever they want to do with the body and with the funeral. He cancelled. And the following day, they were even discussing the EU-fated bill, Bill 7. And their praise singers went into celebration, even insulting the remains of the late president and Kutumabanako Akatumbi. There were all sorts of voice notes and insults against the late president. So the family made another difficult decision. They said, we are going to hold a private funeral and we'll bury here in South Africa. And they made the announcement that the burial will be on 25th of June. And they announced to the country, and they began the preparations. And you remember, by Monday, Zambians had gathered in Johannesburg to support the family, also to remember the late president. It was regrettable that our former head of state was going to be buried in foreign land, but it was inevitable. The family gave us a window of their plans. They said someday there'll be a fair government, a fair government that will respect the office of the president, a fair government that will respect the former head of state, a fair government which will allow us to bring the remains of the late president back home. This was not isolated. There are many presidents, many leaders that have been buried elsewhere, and at an appropriate time, they've then been repatriated to South Africa. South Africa is a prime example. We even have a special cemetery at Leopards Hill Cemetery where we're burying ANC fallen heroes, and that's why it has been easy for them to repatriate those bodies. The ones that have remained at Leopards Hill Cemetery sometimes is because of family connection. Maybe the fallen hero married the Zambian national, and the Zambian national has children, and they have not consented to the remains to be repatriated to South Africa. But those that had no issues, South Africa had since taken all its remains that were buried in Zambia back to South Africa, because there is now an African government, a government that they fought for, a government that liberated them. So the family also stated, someday, when we have a just and fair government in Zambia, the remains of the late president will be brought back to Zambia. But regrettably, for now, they have to be buried in South Africa. And we move forward, let the country come back to normal. Bobasa later injunction on the day when people are traveled by road, by bus, by plane, and South Africans had come, whether it was from KwaZulu-Natal or from East London or from wherever. They had traveled to mourn at the cathedral in Johannesburg. But let's put things behind us. They got an injunction, and this is where now we are today. Why we are discussing this matter, why we are thrusting it before you, is because two events happened. In the morning, Mama Esther Lungu's lawyers filed a defense against a response against the Attorney General, who demanded that the family and the late president's remains should be taken to Zambia. And he demanded that the family and the South African government must surrender the remains of the late president to Zambia. And two, this evening, we saw a letter where the lawyers for the Attorney General have stated that for public and personal reasons, they want to view the body. Public interest, you and I understand. Whose personal reasons do they want to see the body? Who have they sent to look at the body? Satanism, if you have Freemasons, you know, you're feeling if you're a believer in God, you just sense evil. Is there evil in this process? If you believe in good, evil exists. If you believe in the Lord our God, Almighty God, you know that he has an enemy, a constant enemy called the devil, enemy. So for people that say witchcraft doesn't exist, then they don't know God. Because he tells us that we fight against these principalities all the time. They set up altars. They pray against the work of the Lord. So the evil exists. And I don't want to discuss it. But all things are pointing to that. What is this evil? You don't mourn with a widow. The Bible warns you, don't hate the widow. Don't hate the orphans. Because the Lord says, I myself will take it upon myself to bring wrath on you. Despite all those provisions, you can fear. But they have taken the widow to court. We have decided that we will discuss the issue of Bill 13. I think we will not do justice. Let's deal with this emotive issue that is still standing in the way, that is refusing to allow us as a country to move away. We cannot move. We can't stop mourning because the late president hasn't been put to rest. Ghana had its president lie elsewhere for 20 years. It took 20 years for the remains of Kwame Nkrumah to be repatriated back to Ghana. He died in Poland. Sekou Toure said, no, there's a bad government in Ghana. There were various coups in Ghana. People had rebelled against Kwame Nkrumah and his visionary, instigated by imperialists They didn't want the vision of Africa to take foothold, so they didn't want to respect Kwame Nkrumah. But when a proper government came that recognized that they were Ghanaians, they were Africans, and their interests were first, the remains of Kwame Nkrumah were repatriated, back to Ghana after 20 years. So, if you have Bill 13, will not do justice. The President, State House this afternoon, interfered with the process because the committee has been hearing from stakeholders. You saw Dixon Jerry, you saw George Sanga, the lawyer, you saw Law Association of Zambia, you saw Land Alliance, you saw all these stakeholders. The church demand that bill be withdrawn. You cannot give powers to a registrar. We have seen when we have a registrar who has powers, they banned the PF. So imagine if you give similar powers to a junior civil servant, such powers to revoke your titles. And we have President Hakainde Hichilema who has said he doesn't want, he doesn't want people to. Where is the president? I don't like to paraphrase what he says. I like the president to speak for himself.
Part of your mandate there, as a devout Christian, is to whisper Zambia's agenda: peace, security, stability. Don't be like others. I know we have a shortage of land on so-called state land, titles. We want to create land on title properly, not taking a plot that belongs to State House, at State Lodge, and rezone it and allocate it to friends. Really? Someone can take land in State Lodge which they already know that is a controversial area. And really somebody is signing a title deed on land that belongs to the state already? More importantly, under this president? Icona. You don't survive when you do those things. You just don't.
He has warned you, you won't survive. Already Masebo has issued notice to cancel 1,500 title deeds that were issued in State Lodge, Chifwema, and Chongo area. 1,500. The Daily Nation have carried that story. Masebo is very harmful to the president, but the president doesn't see it. She has left a big crisis at Ministry of Health. The U.S. government has withdrawn $50 million this year. There's an audit. She's left fire burning. She has now moved to Ministry of Lands. And the president is like a puppet. Now they are illegally cancelling title deeds. He's even trying to bring a law to give powers to a registrar who Masebo can then instruct. Chiten cancel Ayama title deeds. Chiten cancel Ayama title deeds. Mr. President, you're playing with fire. The right to ownership, to property, you're a businessman, you understand, is a fundamental right guaranteed in the Republican Constitution. You're playing with fire, Mr. President, when you continue to abrogate the Constitution. You are abusing human rights, you are disrespecting human rights, you are disregarding the Constitution. The Constitutional Court, your own court with your own men, just reprimanded you that you broke various constitutional provisions in your attempt to enact Bill 7. Now you want to go to what people own, right to ownership. Masebo is cancelling title deeds that were issued in 2013, 2017. And now you want these unilateral powers. I think we should bring it maybe tomorrow alone. We discuss if you're our president. But if it's burning in you, you can contribute. The lines are open. Let's hear from you. The lines are open. Let's hear from you. The number is 0973 078082. Let's discuss the two issues.
leero bwakya bakamba mu kyalo ky'esu kya Zambia ekyaweka enjoy abantu baafa bakamba kulya kumunfumbwe more than 20 people baleba epati ni babiri bagamba fish twarufyanye people have died mumino yabakapokola the police.
Hello. The phone is buzzing already. Let me just take these calls. Call. Let's hear your views. Let's participate. I want to take as many calls as possible. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. My name is Danny Sinyangwe, calling you from Canada.
Thank you, Danny from Canada. Make your contributions.
My contribution is this. I'll make it short. All well-meaning Zambians, let us go and turn to our God and let us pray for Zambia. Like Ambassador Mwamba said, there's always evil, and evil is there. But there is also God. Our God is a good God. Our God is a justice God. Look, we're in this position today as a nation because we are allowing people like the Three Masons to even have a conference. But it is our job as Christians. Let us turn to the Bible, let us kneel down and pray to God. Whatever is happening, whatever they mean that they want to put, they cannot win because we are children of the Most High God. Let us pray for Zambia. Ambassador Mwaba, continue doing what you're doing. Continue bringing light to the people because most of Zambians, they are in darkness. But God has chosen people like you, Ambassador Mwamba, to bring light to the Zambian. And let's put politics aside. This is beyond politics, Zambians. This is not about who belongs to which party. This is about putting Zambia first. Can we put politics aside, but let's put our country, Zambia, first. If we don't do anything right, we're going to lose our land and our sovereignty as a country, Zambia, just because of one person who doesn't know what he's doing. May God bless Zambia. May God bless people like you, Ambassador Mwamba, and many other people that are speaking for the Zambians, like the chair. Let us continue putting these people in our prayers. Thank you, Ambassador Mwamba. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We had this situation in 1989, 1990. Clearly, our president had departed from Christian ethos. He was UCZ, born UCZ. The parentage was UCZ. They were missionaries in our country. But we saw the president entertain Eastern gods. It was a church that went on their knees in 1990. It was a church. We saw special advisors come from the East. Even Ranganathan, people would remember, heaven on earth, even special cooks, Zambians were replaced by these people that needed to cook special meals for the president. One of the reasons that President Kaunda was voted out was this strange fascination and association with these Eastern gods. The people felt that he had departed from his own God and the God of his parents, and the God of Zambia. Remember, President Kenneth Kaunda declared Zambia a Christian nation. Many people just think it's Dr. Chiluba. But look at the speech that Dr. Kaunda made in 1965 in the Cathedral of the Holy Cross. He dedicated our country to God. And on the eve of independence, our independence, President Kaunda deposited the new national flag that was going to be unveiled, and they dedicated our country to God. So people felt he had also departed from there. So if we see the fascination of the president, that he seems to have departed from even his own God, and my gloves were white, once mwali sakamana but mulafiro okulanda. Once mwali ishwata yama gloves tayaba normal. Where are the men of God? Why don't we go on our knees? What if our president is not praying to the God that we prayed to? Whatever he confesses in the mouth is not what we are seeing in his deeds. Because this heartlessness, where is it coming from? Is it spiritual? So yes, we may need to invoke the spiritual part of our country. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to air my views this evening. I would rather remain anonymous.
Yeah.
They started to win. But nobody says I'm around for Pena and Wala. So there's.
Oh, have we lost him? So sorry. I've got a caller waiting here. Caller, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening. Yes, Patrick.
Patrick from the UK. Good evening, viewers. Mwamba, I actually concur with one. I think it was the first or second caller who was saying we need prayers. Mwamba, this is spiritual. And Mwamba, you rightfully said that during Kaunda, things like this started happening. You know, Asia and somewhere else. This is spiritual, Mwamba. It's quite, you know, I can't understand it because, and Mwamba, by the way, you closer to the family. Was anything agreed that these people can go and see the body?
No, that is why the court even protected the body, deliberately protected the body. Because there were concerns. Remember, they had attempted to get the body on Monday, the 9th of June. They turned up, I've always told that story, and the CCTV footage to that effect. Maybe we should play it here.
So let me continue, Mwamba. Let me continue. I haven't finished. I haven't finished, Mwamba. Can I continue? Only for a minute. I won't be long.
No, as a caller, you have the right. So chila chenu nomba.
Yeah. So Mwamba, they even threatening to go to court if the lawyers are access to the body. And I think we need to pray, Mwamba. If you just come Zambia, I feel normal. You know, I'm not saying HH is a Freemason, but Mwamba, who allowed a Freemason with some Zambia, Livingstone? You know, all those things. Me, Pashivi Muchalo. You know, heaven on earth. You remember, Mwamba? Those are bad spirits. And then, Mwamba, bill number 13. Mwamba, Zambians, to tampio quick katana, Uyumuntu is just trying everything. Because bill number 7, he wanted Zambia to descend into tyranny, authoritarian state. He would have gone back to 1990 and before 1991. And then bill 13, Mwamba. What is happening, Mwamba? I'll just read this for Zambians. America, because property rights, as you said, Mwamba, they are universal rights. They are like human rights. In the United States Constitution, property rights are primarily protected by the 5th Amendment and the 14th Amendment. These amendments ensure that individuals cannot be deprived of their property without due process of law, and that states cannot infringe upon the property rights. Additionally, the Constitution, through the concept of eminent domain, also in the 5th Amendment, allows the government to take private property for public use, but only with just compensation. But Mwamba, you can see how countries have developed, because if you know that we can lose investors by just passing laws like this, because every investor wants to invest in a country where nobody can just wake up and pass a law that the state is going to take the land. I rest my case.
Thank you very much, Shilufia. Yeah, let me take as many calls in an indanda chafuma kumutima. I've analyzed, I've given you the details, I've given you the facts. And today the lawyers for the Attorney General and for the state of Zambia said they've a representative in South Africa to inspect, to look at the body. And they've threatened to go to court in the event that the family doesn't access them that right. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Yes, good evening.
Ambassador, I'm a keen follower of your program, and last time I called, I said that was Pastor AI from Batayo's. And I'm actually very glad that today the remarks that you've made resonates with what I had pointed out. Remember, I cited an example of Moses who went up the mountain and never came back. And God knew why he allowed Moses to die and to be buried without him being seen by anyone. But then later on you realize that the devil, it's written, plain sight, I'm not the one who wrote the Bible. The devil, Michael the archangel, contended with the devil who was after Moses' body. So to me, this is beyond just politics. The men of God need to come out in the open and pray for this country. Otherwise, what is happening is not normal. The last remark I want to make is that we already know there is a grave that has already been dug and prepared somewhere. Could it be that there are reasons behind that open grave lying like that? Should President ECL be buried elsewhere? I mean, where are the men of God? Before 2021 elections, we had a lot of bishops and men of God coming out in the open and condemning the wrong things that was going on under the PF government. Where are those people? Why can't they guide us? Why should you need representatives from this one and the rites to go and verify whether it's ECL's body or not? This is spiritual ambassador. My appeal is to all peace-loving Zambians and those who believe in good and God to come together, join forces, and pray.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I prefer to remain anonymous for now, Ambassador Mamba. Thank you very much. This is a very emotive topic.
Yes, anonymous. Make your contributions.
Yes, it's very shocking. I just want to make a couple of statements here. I really strongly think whoever is behind this force to just see the body and do whatever they want to do with the body, whoever is doing this, there's satanism involved. There's something profoundly dark about this force and this thing that's been going on.
My brother, are you on speaker or are you using a headset? Is it possible you can speak to the phone directly? You seem very faint. You sound very faint. Okay. Yeah, maybe he will call back. Maybe he will call back. Okay, he's calling back. Zambians will remember when President Edgar Lungu's, one of his best friends from Chawama, Suzio Nika, died. The state refused that Suzio had died. The state refused that Suzio had died. They even concocted stories that he had run away to Malawi. They went to Lundazi. They forced the body to be exhumed. They cracked his car open, got material from there, took to South Africa for testing. And South Africa confirmed, after they took DNA tests with others, that it was Suzio Nika that had died. This was very traumatic. Zambians may have forgotten this, where the government of President Hakainde Hichilema didn't believe in death. Suzio Nika died, why that he's faking death. Panmunangwa kwa Edgar Lungu. No, they must have buried they even ran stories, including in the Daily Mail, other than on Koswe and others. They ran stories that Susie Onyika had not died. He had stolen a body from Lundazi and buried it. They ran them as official stories. They didn't believe in Susie Onyika's death to the extent that they traumatized the family. They took them back to Lundazi, dug that grave up, cracked the skull open, removed remains there because he had been buried for I think 2-3 months. So probably the material were not fresh elsewhere. So they had to crack his skull open. And they took the material. Sadly, and as everyone told them, it was Susie Onyika that had died. I think if I ever Edgar Lungu. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yes, this is Anonymous once again. I'm sorry.
Anonymous, this is better. Yes, because we couldn't hear you.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Great. So I just wanted to make a couple of comments. First and foremost, I really am convinced now that whatever is happening here, there's a really dark reason behind it. It does not make any logical sense at all. Okay? Just the mere force of trying to see the body and trying to get someone so close to the body is not making sense. I would have understood if they said, send us a photo, okay? Or there's something that they insist on having this private, church service with the body. They insist on, sending people, and there was a time we heard that doctors had gone there with some traditional person and so on and so forth. They continue to, there's some really dark thing going on here. And I think as Zambians, we need to speak up and begin to pray strongly against this. I wouldn't be surprised that if they fail to see that body, there might be someone who will go mad or something like that. But the second thing that I want to comment on is just that, look, the family needs to be left to mourn in peace. I think enough is enough. I think enough damage has been done. Can the government of Hakainde Hichilema leave the Lungu family to mourn in peace? They are protected by the court process that Hakainde Hichilema himself started. There've been, instructions by the courts that no one can see the body. And let them wait for the 4th of August for the ruling to be done and move on from there. Why are they have sustained the pain of that widow for 2 months. How evil can somebody be? So the woman has been mourning for 2 months. It should have gone on for 2 weeks. It went on for 2 months. And this guy thinks that he has because he's the president, he has the power to just sustain the pain of a widow. I just pray that scripture in the Old Testament that it becomes real on him. Because God promises that if you afflict a widow and orphans, that God himself will fight. And I won't be surprised if some strange action takes place because there is no explanation. That man is evil. How do you sustain the pain of a widow for 2 months and you keep pushing and you keep pushing? It is so wrong. And Zambians need to stop being silent on these things. Speak up. Stop saying, no, I don't have a lawyer. Speak up. Call yourself anonymous if you want, but raise your voice, and pray. Can you see the churches talking about this? This is wrong. This is abnormal. It is not something we should even be talking about. This is straight out of a Nigerian movie. It is abnormal. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you for the work you're doing, by the way.
Thank you. I guess the widow is praying, ikileni mubalange. Because if you promised, you must fulfill. Because for how long will she sustain this fight? Good evening, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello. Good evening, please tell us your name and where are you calling us from.
Good evening, Mama.
Good evening.
I'm calling from Shaka.
Yes.
But it's a congregation again.
Mkwai.
Hello?
Tuleo umfwa.
But shouldn't have a run because I would have to. A person says it's HTF. My husband got to go. Because next year, to get a vote. If fishiwe tulipita ngatufishiwa. So ndirumba kuna kuma political leaders ukuthi ngawasala umuntu ukemina like batonza opinion. Jirefo ikapo kwa mchitana nikane njishiwoda abana nikane tawakwetena nikane bakira nitapaliwe. So irefo ika ile amwa karawo kuza irefo ika papa polling station kufuwa tight security jawale chitatoto nani kana ama votes. So irefo ika.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way. And
Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good, thank you. I am Mrs. Artificial Intelligence, known as AI. I wish not to mention where I'm calling from.
That is okay.
So I just want to make a contribution on what is happening currently in Zambia. I would like to concur with the other caller that just mentioned that why can't Zambians take Mr. President to task and say, what is the obsession with the body of the late president? Number one, unless you are not, you're not a human being, that you can't feel the pain of the widow and the orphans. How long must they mourn on your terms? How long must they mourn? How long must they hold on to the pain? We understand that death is a process, and then time heals, but then not immediately. But then in this instance, even as they go to sleep, they know that definitely their father has not been put to his final resting place, or the husband has not been put to his final resting place because he's there in the mortuary, and then he's not in the mortuary because they have chosen to, but because there's someone, an adult, behind all this thing. If he's saying that he was in talks with the family denied that thing. He took the family to court. He dragged them. That you can feel the pain. And he mustn't forget that whatever he's doing today to the family, there's no way that he's going to sow lemons and expect to reap apples. Whatever he's doing to the family today, his family is going to go through the same situation because it is him that has planted this seed. Very bad. I wish Mr. Hakainde Hichilema can take into consideration the complaints and the cries of the Zambians over the late former president. Otherwise, family will just end up getting frustrated and say, "Sendeni chitumbe mshike to arashala kuno queen." And then how is it going to feel? Because that on its own, it's a case. How long must the family mourn? We are tired of this. Can he allow the family to mourn for once?
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. MK6, Joel.
MK6, speak through the phone. Don't use headsets or speaker. Apparently, you sound muted that way.
Okay, I think now I'm okay.
Okay, make your contribution.
Yeah, I just want to comment on the application that has been made with the Pretoria High Court. It's very sad. It's very sad. You know, we used to hear it like in a rumor, but for me, I'm now 100% certain that Murioburo Shum. Because when someone dies, he used to work at a certain company.
It's not the company to go at the hospital or the morgue to verify the body that, okay, he has died here. It's the family. All you need to do as the employer is to receive the death certificate and confirm from the family to say, okay, yeah, the person has left us. So, what is it that they want to prove? What is it that they want to prove? Are they doubting that he is still alive? And why, if I was to ask, why would ECL and the entire family, including you people who are close to him, why would they lie to say no, he's dead? For what purposes? Sometimes we should remove these political issues and just be human beings, because it's now too much. It's now too much.
Thank you very much, MK. Thank you very
and
much.
Who is that for me? And who is that representative that they are sending, actually? Who is that representative? We want to know him.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador. I'd like to remain anonymous.
Remain anonymous. Continue.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for what you're doing, for being a voice for all of us. The number one thing I'd like to say is this thing is very spiritual. If all of us are looking at it just from a general point of view as just being life, then this is very, very spiritual, and it calls for all of us to get to pray. So for me, I would like all of us to cover that body of our late president in the blood of Jesus, that no weapon that is formed against that body shall prosper in Jesus' name, because this is getting out of hand. What sort of wickedness is this? From the onset, he has not mourned this president. Why is he mourning him now? He has not extended a hand of even I'm sorry, he's not stepped out of his comfort zone to go and mourn with that family. And then he wants to show to the world that he's mourning. It's wrong, Bamwamba. This is wrong. Tuanaka. Huh? Can this man just stand down? Can he just stand down? For the sake of the Zambian people, the people that elected him, for the sake of that widow, can he just stand down? Can he have a heart? Huh? What will it take? Tuanaka. Thank you very much, Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
At this point, Mwamba, I think we are all just okay with being called anonymous.
That's okay.
Yes, Mwamba. I think a lot of callers have said what we need. Nile sapa, because chapala kwati umuntu tatwafwe aba president evo tukweke abashumfuila abantu tuanaka na vena. But at this point, I also want to ask, Bushe ba first lady so nishvena tabale mone village tika, and to her, is this normal such that she can't beg her husband to just let this thing go? Because takwaba, what sort of, I don't know, what sort of heart does this man have? You take the widow to court, you stop them from burying when everything is prepared, you cancel the mourning period, then you go back. Nombe chicha isati, for personal reasons, they want to inspect the body. This is not normal. And I think it's a normal human being cannot do this. It's either the president Stevan over to Kwete right now, Dimbichinama, because Ngababa no kumfa, if you ngaba umfa, abantu balila banaka. Why is he so obsessed with the body of a man who died? This is not normal. Where is the church? But church, please. Dimbimo balami umfuira kwa baba tata pantu twanaka takwava twanaka please if ba madam mutinta tete balande tatuishi bengepo baba nangu tababapo balanzire kwa banabo ba former first lady ba change please twafweni twanaka ba change twanaka na imwe. You are not human. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Exodus 22 verse 24 says, my anger will be aroused. No, let me start from 23. Or from 22, Exodus 22 verse 22. It says, do not take advantage of the widow or the fatherless. If you do, and they cry out to me, I will certainly hear their cry. 24. My anger will be aroused, and I will kill you with a sword. Your wives will become widows, and your children will become fatherless. Now, this is God's promise if you touch the widow. I don't know if President Hakainde Hichilema has seen this verse. If he hasn't, please show the President Exodus 22 to 24. Because the Bible, the Lord promises nothing but to make you, to make your wife as widows and your children as fatherless. God forbid. But that's what Exodus 22 to 24 says. Someone who loves the President must give him that verse. But praising pama chats pama platform yandi. Please pass that verse to the President or to his family. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Shani bane.
Awe tushaba mutende tapabe chachira ga chakoeba tiwo mwasumira mu wamweo. Wamwamba first before nshiraranje fifyonse naraisha kurondora pepa no ichi mwono na mwene pakushikwa pasata deni shimfwa karashika paweni ichi yadi nishite ya ushku so na lisa ingira mwono koko ali group ya abantu bali mu mufimfi so babantu bali panga ceremony bakwisha ceremony o bali pangira ceremony basamwita nokwambo kumupera ma instruction yofe alingire achita nongoyo muntu orona ishire mumona nali muchi muona but nali kwato mwenso ata kanshkulina fyaso so omuntu basambo kumupera ma instructions yono mba fyonse twapwisha ofe ufiro wa achita ni fine so after fyofona ishire buko puma muchi muona echo nomba nali kweto mwenso chali samoneka kwati fyachira chitika. So after na pepera poro yishita twalimu ma fasting, twalista fasting pali conference. Na sa tontonga yanjebele awo chamfini na nara chitashanyi kuno konji South Africa. Ni wala nara tumina ko Zambia abali ko mpepera mo politics. Poro yishire tumina jechi mbaulia the grassroots. Na alisa murondoroera. Mwebele chichi mwono na chimona it is spiritual yendi muma pepo. So please tumina ko bebe awawa lipa secretary ntungurushi. Babe muma pepo. Beraranda geni webe nabe ngaranda kona family ba peperepo ishishi befe arachitika pa Wednesday because if na chimona na fintinya it is spiritual from that time which mona chachitika pano turera ndana ino ishite ufata ira chitashani taturashika pote chimona chiria ndero mbako feku bana ndaba ba mapepo abenga kwato kusenda kona mbayandi na ngufe muri 5 ni shmurife bwino kwawo kuchitako intercede kupeperapo because if you fin to take over ti chiro to awe it's real so uli omuntu bali mwe kuchitapo fimo nombo mwana ndo akweba ti abafyashi family yabo yali basana connected to muru alisuka amapepo yabo yarafika muru kwali bashama pepo yako chikuru mapepo amapepo yako bachingore pepa mupasho wakwalesa immediately waranda ve 2 weeks mupasho wakwalesa waikira so abafishi before tabalafwa family ya mulando wako batemo bapita mu fintu fingi so balifika parapa kupepa muchine na muchinka bena barapepa fe sana that's why the fintu ko fine chitikira so
thank you Wamunkonge
nandi bambi abo mfoko bati barapepa muchine na muchinka tibabura kona mbayandi twashitako intercede pacharo chenso
I'll ask people to abalefo kumimona abalefo kupepa na imwe batume message yeah, let them send the message here then I'll give it to you.
Zambia upepa muchine na muchinka bafule bambo kubika kwa ma fasting because ile mfuate ko batire umubiringa bawusenda nishiriro se ya family naye kwata meaning kucharo cheso because abafyashi bafwirire muchinka na muchine bale pepa lero muntu enara sharana nani yakara politics awe balishi balesa muchine na muchinka so fwe bera Zambia fwe bale pepa tupepere posana pakwe bati tupusushe icharo cheso pantu bena pali ni point yakwe bati ngabachitaira ceremony yako nishi icharo katwishino ko chingaba lero ngabafiro kuchita process ceremony ba tampa yakano kupita nishi baba defeated.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wamunkonge. Good evening, my brother. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hey, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
I'm good, thank you. So you can just call me Mr. X from South Africa.
Mr. X from South Africa.
And,
make your contribution,
South
sir.
Africa, yes. And by the way, I am a South African, but I've been following you and I've been following this story. So, sorry, my contribution is like I'm asking myself if the Zambian president say ECL lost the benefits and the privileges after he went back into active politics. Didn't he lose the burial benefits as well? Because I mean, how can you say someone lost the benefits, but you still give him the benefits to bury him? I really don't understand why is that.
No, you are correct.
And,
you are correct.
Yes. And again, I believe these people are committing a crime by, they want to corrupt our South African government by bribing the judges. I'm not sure what is the process like to take them to what is this? Is it the ICL, the International
Criminal Court, ICC?
Justice, or yes, something like that. I mean, that is crime, like to move from another country and then you go to commit crime in another country. You see that? I mean, these are the people that we are all looking up to. Like they run in the countries, but I mean, for them to go to another country and try to corrupt their judicial system. I mean, it's very bad. I mean, like us as South Africans, how are we supposed to look at the Zambians? You see, I mean, it's really bad. It's not good. And the other thing that I'm concerned about, remember they are doing all these things. They are dragging the family to the court. Remember, the family has got no support. They are using their monies. Like these monies they were supposed to be using to bury the former president. These monies, they were supposed to be taking care of the family after the burial. But now, this president who's using, I believe they are using the taxpayers' monies.
Correct.
To do all
He's not using his money now.
Exactly. Like it's really bad. It's bad. Like I'm feeling for the as a South African, I'm feeling for the family. And to be honest, even for the family to come back to Zambia, I think they are going to be tormented. If it was in my power, I would just say, you know what, this family must just live here in South Africa. We give them the citizenship or something like that, so that they can live here like freely. because I've got a feeling that if they go back, maybe they might even be arrested or something like that. You see, that's my little contribution.
Wonderful, very insightful contribution from a South African. And thank you for South Africans that they are listening to this program. And thank you for that call, my dear brother. Hello, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello. Good evening, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This is Zephania. I'm calling from Zambia.
Zephania, make your contributions.
Yes, Honorable Mwamba, I think he obsession yambokutidabwisha yakutira ti ba traffic officer nomba balifaya baliko kulapanga ma road block balifaya fye kuyafya nomba straight each road balifaya balikata until bakamuni chitumbi. If it chitika, it's like ngamwamuna ngamwakonka fe buno bwino epo batu balira feri ashikukoti ba traffic officer tabakwata ilya what can I say in Bemba? It's like he is not comfortable. There is something which is bothering a traffic officer, because if you have seen, in most of the time he's a bitter person. Whatever he says, that's why you see now he's trying to push even the bill 13 so that he gets the property of people, meaning there is something which is bothering this man. I think what we are supposed to do, I'll concur with that South African guy, we must stand up and take this case Kuriba ICC, so that this issue, so that the traffic officer is no one is above the law. This is too much. We as Zambians, look at the family of Edgar Lungu. They have been, this is now almost 2 months. What we are supposed to do, we as Zambians, let's pray and give them comfort. And may God bless you. If it were other people this time around, you know what you want and God is going to protect you. All of us, let's give them support. May God bless them. I know that he won't achieve what he wants to achieve. We will pray so hard, because God has said that whatever we ask in his name shall be given. Even when to move the mountain, we pray we'll be able to move the mountain. And we are going to pray that no one is going to see the body of the late Edgar Chagwarungu. And itakwava bamwamba nangu abene tulamona nangu balanda ta sorry I use watchtower balanda body viewing will be done on the family members. And if the family members have said no one is going to do the body viewing, no one should take them to court, and no one is going to allow. That is their culture, and they have made that decision. Let them stand by that, and we support them spiritually, physically, mentally. I know. May God bless them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There are so many calls. I'm sorry, but we have to hear you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Samuel. I'm Zambian, but I'm in the United Kingdom.
Samuel, you could be using a headset, so speaker. See if you can just speak directly. You'll be more clearer.
All right. I'm calling on a matter which has to do with the Ministry of Health. Since Friday at Chelenge Hospital, Mission Hospital, the doctor was supposed to attend to patients in a particular ward has not been there since Friday. And so the patients have been waiting to see the doctor from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday, Monday, the doctor didn't show up. Even up to right now, I'm from talking to my sister-in-law. She's there with her daughter in hospital. The doctor has not been there. So where we're going as a government, the UPND promised that there will be better health, service delivery, but it hasn't been like that. So I just called on this platform to bring out in the open, so that if there are any people are listening to me, contact the relevant authorities and make sure that this is sorted. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Which hospital, my brother?
This is a hospital in Chilenge. It's called, just a second, I got St. Paul's Mission Hospital.
Okay, thank you very much. St. Paul's Mission in Chelenge, there's a distress call. There are patients that are quite sick, and the doctor should have seen them, but since Friday, the doctor hasn't been. Also for the area member of parliament, I think she's an active one. I hope she can quickly follow up this matter happening at St. Paul's Hospital in Chelenge. Honorable Sensio Banda, my dear brother, make your contributions.
Thank you very much. When I saw those letters, I got surprised. My only word is choyamba. If I need a first lady, where on the monarchs munga a former first lady. Two pem hatevantu kuti pempane kwa president. Kuti ngati pali cheti lakwa sewo tevantu. Edgar Chagwarungu makurukire. Pakuti muchitika choyamba chokuti tefuna kuti tiike maliro kwezi musokonezo ma programs machinjiwa so tokuti national mourning period vachitakati tozokuti yaya lomba so tikaike maliro. Todakuza zokuti lomba soti they went ahead ku court kusta cancel burial. As if that wasn't enough, Lomba Tamona Makarata Ayowela. For me, Nupemha first said, you are a mother. Talk to our president. And Munga Mala Vidira, the Bible, what it says, whatever you do, it's a seed. For me, by now, I should have anticipated the president himself, should have spoken to the wife, my wife, and maybe you go to Susanna Matari, let's go and talk to Archbishop Tentkaone Amai Aisa Lunguku, South Africa. But what we're seeing, the animosity is unprecedented. So for me, Chatenga Pembe, na first lady kuti kambani na president wasu titandi zeni ngapali chikuchela kwa Edgar Lungu tikuru kireni. We want to buy our former president in peace. I think that's what I can say, because this is quite unfortunate and it's quite painful. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
If it's a felt need of the family, for example, that the president should not personally be in attendance. So what do we, why not delegate? Why not delegate? Why not delegate? Yes, it's awkward, but unusual situations, unusual circumstances may demand unusual responses. And it will appear, the problem that we have as human beings is that we think they now would have lost, then they have won. But sometimes backing down and then allowing certain things to happen may not necessarily be a loss. It could be actually a sign that you are greater than the other because you are ready to, to back down and give way, and for the sake of the greater good of the country.
The matters are before court. There's a trial beginning 4th August. A judgment to be done on 18th of August. Number pressure yafuma kwi bane yafuma kwi. Hello, my caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador
saying the name, you know, this thing is quite tormenting. But you know, my prayer is nachiwe vyofine mwachiverenga mu Exodus nachiwe vyofine kuli wonse who involved mu torment the widow and the children of the late president. Ambassador Makwari people is it's for the widow and the fatherless. So all this confusion that we are seeing, it's as a result of the prayers of those people, the family of the former president. And I know there is more that is going to come. There's also a scripture in the Bible which I cannot quote straight away, which says when God wants to destroy a man, first he will make him mad. So this madness that we are seeing is as a result of God destroying this man who has been so tormenting to the family of the late president. It is inhuman. It's not human. You know. At least when that's why somebody for whereby not the way these people, they are heartless. And let it be so.
Thank you very much. Thank you. The Lord listens to the prayer of the widow, and he says it's the fastest prayer is right. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hi, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Ambassador, for me, I just wonder where the bishops like Bishop Magando are, who are very vocal the time of ECL. But this time around, they are mute. I don't know what is happening. All the bishops that were vocal the time of ECL, they are sleeping. Why? That's what I'm wondering. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. We'll begin to wind down. I know this is an emotive story. I know you want to air your views. So call now before we close. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, Mr. Mwamba, I'm sure it's me, the man who was cut off. I was the first caller.
Oh, caller, we couldn't hear you. Please finish your thoughts.
Yeah. So na cheva na tinishimwaingira fenongo chisha ni nomba paka. Yeah, going back to our program, even therefore we push about Mwamba. Ushefwe na Zambia. I don't want to believe that if you ever tweet that so what fishing. Ushefwe na Zambia chatulengi efichinche. Because in that this thing started slowly. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. My brother, we can hear you. We can hear you.
So, hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh. We can hear you very, very clearly.
Hello, Mr. Mom.
We can hear you very clearly, my brother. I'm patient with you. Make your contribution. Oh, sorry. I tried. Okay. Are you still there? Make your contribution quickly, my brother.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, I don't know where we've lost it as a nation. Yes, I don't know where we've lost it as a nation because this is into Shambile time Valungu
What you do is when you call, you mute the device on which you are listening to this program, because you'll be hearing feedback and you think that you are not through. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening.
Kindly just keep me anonymous.
Yes. Anonymous.
Ambassador, sure. I just want to contribute in, I think in just few minutes, just maybe 2 minutes and a half, or maybe just 1 minute and a half.
Please hold on.
What happened?
You can go ahead. You can go ahead. It's the other call I'm saying to hold on. You finish your thoughts quickly.
Sure, thank you. What has happened, Ambassador Mamba, is that the Christian values has been lost as a result of one man. What is in the Constitution is that we are a Christian nation, and we're supposed to practice the Christian values, which are very fundamental to us as Zambians. But because of, like what they say that when absolute power corrupts absolutely, it's like someone now power has been it has absolutely corrupt him, in the sense that he's now not trying to keep those values that you have. This is now the reason why we have seen now even the dark side of the world, the Freemason and etc. They are coming on board, because from the time someone has been in that office, Zambia has been going down, 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 and a lot of things have been done in a way which is supposed not to be done. The current state which we have about the death of the former Republican president, it was a time for the country to unite. It was a time for him to show proper leadership on how this thing should go. But see what this person has done. Surely God is alive, and God will fight for this country.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. I've got a caller here, my dear sister. Good evening.
Good evening, Ambassador. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Fine, Olivia here.
Yes, Madam Olivia Piri. How are you?
I'm fine, Ambassador. How are you?
Very well. Please make your contributions.
Yes, my contribution to me, Ambassador, firstly, the Attorney General needs to resign on moral ground.
And one, for wasting taxpayers' money, and for failure to... First is taxpayers' money that has been wasted. He should have given legal advice to go this way, because he's more learned in the legal, and that's his duty to advise the president. So the Attorney General needs to resign on moral ground. Second, to me, I want to call upon the church, the church like the SDA, where the president comes from. The moral decay of this drama. Ambassador, I come from North Mid Assemblies of God. To some extent, I have a church with my bishop who advise me, our daughter. But what kind of people are in SDA that can't sit down their member and advise him morally, spiritually on certain things? Happening, to be honest, Ambassador, it's not normal. Okay? Second, to you, the leaders of UPND, you suffer 23 years in opposition. Is this the best leadership that those that believe in you needs to receive? Because this is really getting out of hand. And it's inhuman, it doesn't make sense. What kind of leadership is this that they can't talk? What do they discuss? Because there are certain issues. The president is not above the law in accordance with the Zambian Constitution. But why is the man always bulldozing his way, and everybody in that whole entire UPNB cannot question and query? It is really not right. Now, look at the embarrassment that they've taken to South Africa, because we heard on that AI audio, they are calling it, and Chavinga was very clear
on his involvement with the president, involvement with everybody. You know, even that being quiet, bringing propaganda, bringing this, they cannot clean that. It is in public domain. Already, ambassador. We can't. As a country, I think we have been embarrassed. From 2021, from the time they ascended to power, Zambia has been embarrassed, has gotten to the level where we don't know. Then, that dead body, what is it that they need from that body? Because by the end of the day, they don't own that person. That person was not even their member, be it in their church, be it in their party, be it in whatever. So why does he have the audacity thinking he can have control of the person he hated most when he was alive? I think as a country, I want to call upon all the Christians, we need to go on our knees. What is happening actually is spiritual. To me, even these white gloves things that we have seen, everybody has kept quiet. It has become a norm. It has landed to this level where now Christianity is not making sense. So I want to call upon every child of God. We need to go on our knees and pray for Mother Zambia, because what is happening, it's a battle that can't be fought anywhere, but it's very spiritual. People are so blinded, Ambassador, and we don't know what is happening. So to me, really, I think after the first case they took to court, the judgment is passed, let the government rest and allow the family to go ahead and bury that man. And you know, this thing we're hearing in the nation's interest, they never liked all those that support UPND who have now an interest in his body, never liked him. All of us that believed in him, we will support the family, the stance of the family. And this drama of saying in the interest of the nation is not making sense. ECL went in South Africa at his own expense. Okay, so how does the nation come in? So to me, really, I think as Zambians, let us be sincere. We need to start condemning all these wrong things that are going. Enough is enough. We cannot continue being dragged into a matipa. I think that's my contribution, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Chilando Knight. I'm calling you from Lusaka.
Mr. Chilando, make your contributions.
Yes, no, my contribution, Your Excellency, is that I think as a country we have really lost it. You know, the way this government has ruled since they came up to now, things are really not okay. And, you know, just what they are doing to this, the family of the former president is very, very sad. You know, it's a sad situation. And as Zambians, we need to all come together. And as opposition, I think we need to all rally behind one person in order for us to remove this regime. Because if we sit and just watch them and be divided, these people might come in another 5 years and it will really be bad. And all this what we are doing will be an exercise in failure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Amafoni banen tap so papa ya lelo umfaidira na kunuma.
Imkwai nomba kwena na isha sana na chiwa bino kutala na china kitaka tefe ndare nomba nokula nomba ni fi umpampa mina kutira na kwa tefe kumkoshi
Emkwai
enjitai bamwamba iliyo mu 2022 August 2021 twali mfuire nkumbushira tutire nkumbu chibemba uruse iliyo bapa keswe bamama bana mutinda nefi bale batakanya nefi ya kitike iyo twaile apo tuvotera fwe pa Lusaka Central panse pali abasoja mukati mwa bakapokola abatatu ndebukisha iyo twale kansa wali minine pa Lusaka Central nyoyo abako alikushani noma ni intenos no uyu mulambo wa imbe pakati pali akainde nalasu pawira bamwa wali shu kapokolale tulishukutira lai bamndalayi mule fisako mukabufu tomwebera kutira iwe webota wishi yati tule chinjo buteko mura ndichari tukalipe barumende twalebe bali kuti umitumefi kuti mure chitefi twaleta fwe wonsi akushitisha kuma market mwala tushiti mwala tupokolola so nomba umituma eo tulefuwa ya tukamulana na mkwepa ushiku bakuvota na vifine sile chitika aba nabo iminso shishali uma shali so uliabu shiku tetuakana keyo tuke maila ile chita tulima zero sidina malupo wesu kumono kwebati twayatantala na kabi inshonko nono ngachivo kolo nisho fine fikachitika na tutela bamwe.
Thank you very much. I'll take the last 5 calls.
I know we have a shortage of land on so-called state land, titles. We want to create land on title properly, not taking a plot that belongs to State House, at State Lodge, and rezone it and allocate it to friends. Really? Someone can take land in State Lodge which they already know that is a controversial area. And really somebody is signing a title deed on land that belongs to the state already? More importantly, under this president? Icona. You don't survive when you do those things. You just...
Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. My name is Anonymous.
Yes, Anonymous. Make your contributions.
First thing first, I joined the discussion a bit late. I wanted to be sure that you have verified. Since that letter was not signed, have you confirmed that it is a genuine document, not fake?
Verified. You are on Emmanuel Mwamba, verified.
Thank you. The second thing is that I think it is clear that there are, out of the 20 million Zambians, there's only one Zambian who wants to see the body. So no one should hide in the Zambians' interest. No. It's one person who wants to see the body. And we pray that that person will not be allowed to see the body. Thirdly, my prayer is that what you are doing there is very important. Keep it up, but please don't return to Zambia until we have won victory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take the last 5 calls. So I've taken 1. We are remaining with 4. Let's hear from you. This was your program. We will return with the issue of land. I think it's very important. We have to deal with the issue of the body today. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Anonymous here.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Thank you. Chavinga said something where he said he was praying in Megalato in South Africa. And he emphasized to that minister to say we needed ukupambamisha, to make sure that wapambamisha. Now, as he tried to do that, he couldn't, whatever plans they had, it came out and the people knew about whatever they had planned. So this time around, it's like the president had noticed to say he's losing the case that he took to South Africa. So how is he going to have access to the body? So before the judgment is delivered on 4th August, he goes with another Mungalato to force himself to get even just a linen, a cotton linen from the body where Edgar Lungu is lying as evidence to do his own witchcraft. It's very sad to be ruled by a person who is so cruel like him. I want to make mention that this man has fought Edgar Lungu, not only in his death. Even when Edgar Lungu was president, he fought him right and center. Even in retirement, he fought him. He fought him and he's still fighting him in death. I have no kind word for this man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, this is, good evening, Ambassador Mamba. This is Concerned Citizen.
Concerned Citizen, make your contributions.
Yes. First of all, deeply saddened by this continued soap opera. I think one of the callers called it, called it correctly when he said it's like a very bad Nigerian movie. My only fear is this: if the obsession for a man who is deceased, who is no longer a political opponent now, is at this level, and someone cannot let go, how will it be in August 2026, in those 3 days after we cast our vote, and things are not going someone's way? How will it be? Thank you.
Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Ambassador.
Good evening.
This is honorable given the MP for
Oh, Honorable, you must have heard a caller in distress in the United Kingdom who was someone who's unwell at St. Paul's in Chiengi, and he has issued a distress call on this program that a doctor has not appeared for the last 5 days, and they have a very serious patient. So, Honorable, thank you that you have come and you represent that area.
You know, actually, St. Paul's Hospital is in Chilenge.
Oh, and your constituency is Chiengi.
Chilenge, yes, that's why I called just to correct that. And the area member of parliament is Dr. Mwale.
Okay. Dr. Mwale, please pass on. Yeah, pass on the number to me. I can call him after the program. Or since you are all colleagues, quickly alert him about this distress call from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Thank you. Any contribution on this matter? Okay, ngamaipe kanyamukese.
Because I've seen the Bill 13 and is it Bill 713?
The media can quote you. When you have your thoughts correct, then you can come and contribute. Let me not ambush you. Okay, thank you. Dr. Mwale, to call me or tell him about this urgent matter.
Okay, I'll do so.
Thank you, Honorable. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, I'm calling you from United States of America, New York City.
Yes. Please.
Honorable Emmanuel Mwamba. Bantu badwala again futi monga ba Edgar Chagwalungu nje babere bamwanza. Chamene chafuta maningi ba Emmanuel Mwamba. Oti baileke ko bodi ya ba Edgar Chagwalungu iyende ikagone. Chamene chafuta chintu chikuru maningi kuli abantu ba Emmanuel Mwamba ni chani. Chafuta maningi. Aitristi mwalimu wakulu pali ife Emmanuel Mwamba. Mnaona vintu vambili maningi kila ife. Aitristi asemwezi mwatu uzako. Chamene wafuna kuli bodi ya ba Edgar Chagwalungu ni chani. Kapena imupani mwezo pesa kati mna Edgar Chagwalungu pafupi. Wanabisa mo Diamond mbodi yao. Na wanda waifu na maningi swatu wachusemweje Diamond. Yamene wana siya babisa. Kulibe kulimbikira kwama kama pampamina icha mnowe chivechobe. Awa Emmanuel Mwamba. This is not it. Basense hero kawa. Bye.
Thank you very much, a gentleman from New York. You are right. This matter is very worrying. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel Mwamba.
Thank you.
I hope to be anonymous if you may tolerate me.
That's okay, anonymous.
Thank you very much. You know, in Zambia, these people have introduced all sorts of cyber laws to ensure that everybody is silenced, so that whatever they do, all the evil things they are doing, we as Zambians, we are quiet. So please bear with us when we say we want to be anonymous.
That's okay.
And the first thing is to thank you, Emmanuel Mwamba, for the work that you are doing. And I want to assure you that Zambia is a Christian nation. Sorry, bear with me. Zambians are praying. We are praying day and night. Continue doing your work, and we are appealing to everybody in the diaspora to ensure that they support for what you are doing. what you are doing. We in Zambia very much need the effort that you are putting up. Now, number one, we had said from the very beginning only that people were not very attentive. President Hakainde's behavior was very apparent even when he was in the opposition, and we tried to warn the people. What is there is that you cannot run a country on bitterness, on revenge. President Nelson Mandela stayed in prison for 27 years, and when he came out, he was not bitter. You have a person who just spent a month in prison, and all the time he's being bitter. So what we are putting across is that all these things that we are doing is like, it's like you want to drag the entire nation, you want to consume the entire nation in bitterness. In trying to sort out PF, the whole nation must be drowned. That is where this bill is coming from. This issue of land bill that is coming from. They are trying to pursue something. Now, we need a lot of players in this country. Now, coming to the issue of the body, what I can say is that you need to listen carefully to what Chief Mukuni is saying about PF. Because Chief Mukuni is a chief advisor to President Hakainde Hichilema. He's his son. You heard the point that he was putting across about the death of Edgar Lungu. This is the chief who had once said that he would sleep in on the grave in pitch dark. You see, Lesson Mariotola, God is telling the people of Zambia something. Because if President Hakainde Hichilema didn't become president, people are going to think that people hate people of Southern Province. So now, even for those who are doubting, you can see for yourselves. Now, right now, as I'm talking to you, the entire nation is in total darkness. There's absolutely no any power, at least in PF. We used the longest hour of road shedding we used to have was 3 hours. If it goes west, it's 4 hours, power comes back. Now we are even used. We are living in darkness. And the man is still insisting. He still wants to continue being president, fixing the people of this country. So please, we are appealing to Zambians in the diaspora to say, please, you are the people who can put up a spirited fight. By Emmanuel Mwamba, I want to thank you, and I'm praying for you every day for the work you are doing. So please continue with this program and ensuring that you are featuring all the people we talk. God can't, it's God, because you see, God had rejected this man 5 times. You need to be listening when God is talking. God, when God says no, it's no. A soul can never be a Paul. God rejected this man 5 times. But you people, you say, no, let's try him. That's why we are seeing all this case that has been before. What type of satanism is that? Well, that you definitely have to fight all this long for somebody's body. Why didn't he delegate? Why is he insisting? If you had paid particular attention from the very beginning, he has no advisors. He only listens to his demons. He doesn't listen to anyone. In Tonga, they say Tanyonui. You can't advise him anything. That is this. He only does what his demons tell him to do. And this he demonstrated even when he was in the opposition. And even PF itself, Mwamba, we tried all our best to warn PF about this. The only issue is that they were so excited also in terms of enjoyment, and they never paid attention. But God will see us through. The only thing we are saying, Mwamba, is that we are appealing to people in the diaspora, Zambians. We are happy with what Amaya Lilian Tambo is doing. A lot of people are now seeing the spell is slowly stopping working. A lot of people are teaching UPND now, like what Madam Lily Mutambo did. So we are appealing to people in the diaspora to ensure that you put up a lot of programs like this. This man must be presented to the Hague He must go and answer crimes that are happening in this country. We have YME who has disappeared. A lot of people are disappearing in this country. The international community must put Zambia on a red flag. There's a lot of total don't SADC. Hey, you, where are you? Are you not hearing what is happening in this country? The man is even afraid now to visit his friends, even in South Africa, when there's a summit. Zambia now has become a shame, a disgrace. A country that was a beacon of hope to the entire world. Who didn't admire Zambia? All the liberation struggles throughout Africa were born in Zambia here. And today we are becoming a shame and I'm happy that even the Americans also are waking up. Look at the mess that is at the Ministry of Health. The catastrophe that is in the ministry. Now they are going to lands. We have been saying that everywhere Sylvia Masebo has been, and I feel pity for Sylvia Masebo. She can't see that she is simply being used. President Chirema is very intelligent. He knows people how to use them. They used Sylvia Masebo at the Ministry of Health and left a trail of destruction. And now she's in the Ministry of Lands, announcing these obnoxious bills. You saw how Dixon Jerry labored to pump cells, doing things because the man has absolutely no advisors. He has no advisors, the man. Look at how spectacular ignorance he exhibits even on the Constitution. He tells the nation that the Constitution of Zambia needs to be repealed or maybe analyzed every after 10 years. Where did he read that in the Constitution? He has people who are paid to advise them, but he doesn't listen. So please, Lamwamba, please continue opening the phone lines so that people can air out their views. We are praying for you and we are appealing to all your colleagues in the diaspora. Stand up for Zambia. It's time for us to stand up and liberate ourselves from this terrain. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. Thank you. Thank you. Very powerful words from that caller. Last two calls. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contributions.
Anonymous from. Yeah, thank you so much, Ambassador. The happenings in our country, especially to what we have witnessed today, it gives very, very sad reading, Ambassador. Especially that we are calling ourselves as Christians. It is something that is so disturbing, Ambassador. Look at how much the first lady, the former first lady, because just losing a husband, already, that is stress. Just losing a husband is stress. The children, the family, the bigger family, PF, the bigger family, Tonsa Alliance, there's a lot of stress. Now, and because of the same carelessness of doing things by this current regime, America reached out withdraw funding. This time around, I tell you, Muma hospitals, Muma clinics, very soon, very, very soon. If not already happening, there are no ARVs in the hospitals. There are no malaria drugs. There are no syringes. But yet, what are we doing as a country? What are we doing?
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Let me take another call.
Yes, please, let us unite. Let us unite and fight this common.
Good evening, please. Yeah, please tell. Thank you. Hello, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Rob. I'm calling from Manchester.
Rob, I'm from Manchester. Make your contributions.
Yes. Mine is just something that has been going through my head because I've been observing how the president has been doing things for quite some time. And I see someone who is trying so hard to get a reaction from the Zambian people by either hoping there will be a lot of commotion and then the country gets divided. But because Zambia is a Christian nation and the people have high tolerance and they're not giving him what he wants us to do. Because you could see the way everything has been going, it's like he's trying to squeeze and trying to get a reaction from us to go on the streets and do things. And he's not getting that. So I'm not a chef. How everything has been going, it's like it's planned. So after this, there's going to be something else that's going to come out. But like what I've always said is, Zambia, let's pray. Let's not, it's like someone is trying to fish us out. You know, I keep on throwing stuff. And with the issue of land, this is something that has divided countries and has made people to do things that they've regretted. And I hope that when we speak out, and every Zambian, even the people that actually voted for him, they could actually see the danger that this man, his motives and the people that are backing him, they don't want our country to be united. They want us to be divided. And we refuse it, and we're not going to allow it. And with what is happening with the ECL family, it's there now for people to see. And I call upon the SDA church, the church that he claims to be an elder. Where are they and where do they stand on this issue? That scripture that you keep on quoting, they read that scripture in the Adventist church. Where is the church? Where is the SDA church? They stand with everything that he's saying or what he's doing to this country? If they don't, where's the union? Where are the pastors? Speak up and defend your church. Thank you, Amamba.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. I'm from the United Kingdom in Manchester. Let me take the last call. Good evening. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Gilbert from Livingston.
Gilbert from Livingston, make your contribution.
In quarter of Ulanda, with what is happening, especially over the body of our late President Edgar Lungu. Like everybody has said, and it is very clear. That is very clear that Wuloshu, it is very clear that Wuloshu were alleged. Now, my question is, as Zambians, what are we doing about it? My point is, what are the Zambians doing about it? We have seen the Lungu family persecuted. We have even made news of it. What are we doing as Zambians? Are we going to watch them being persecuted just like that? Is there something that we can here? Because this is an injustice at the very highest level. Zambians, let's pray for that family. Each one of us, if we put ourselves in their shoes, I must commend them. Varikosa. I must commend them. Varikosa. There's something we can do.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we have Honorable Muhavi Lungu, former diplomat, and is involved in uniting the opposition is part of the leadership led by Ernest Mwanza, and the vice president is a spokesperson of the Zambia We Want. We host Muhabi Lungu, then we will host Honorable Ernest Mwanza, I think, on Monday. We have other leaders lined up. Honorable Brian Mundwile comes on Thursday and will tell you a leader on Friday. There are many opposition leaders that have been lined up and have confirmed. Today we did a special broadcast on the issues of regarding the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. There is a court hearing coming up on 4th August. It's not a judgment. It's a court hearing. It will be full trial. There will be a full trial where both parties will argue their views. I guess the court will be very disappointed that a month and a half later, the family and the state have not resolved this issue. The court had prayed that they would use the absence to negotiate and settle the matter outside court. It has not happened. The tensions have even escalated by the behavior of the state, the insults, applications, and the humiliation that the family continues to go through. For the callers, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I'm so sorry we missed so many calls, but I try all the time to allow you to speak. So until tomorrow, when we have, God willing, with his own mercies, that we should have Mr. Muhabi Lungu to talk about unity of the opposition. We have an outstanding issue of Bill 13, the Land and Deeds Registry Amendment Act that they want to do, where they will give a junior civil servant these immense powers that take away your constitutional right to property. The Ministry of Lands has already issued 1,500 RICO of title deeds that have been issued around Chongwe, Chifwema, and State Lodge area. And you heard President Hakainde himself, he says you will not survive if you got a land under the circumstances he has just briefed. Probably that's why he needs a law. So God bless you. Continue to pray for us. Continue to pray for our nation, that the nation remains in peace together. Our nation has been in a crisis like this, and the Lord's hand always comes upon the people, and the people does deliver a leadership. That's what we continue to pray for. God bless you, and shalom, shalom.
Originally, why we changed was because we wanted a tamper-proof casket. Because people, with rituals and things like that, people really are after his body or his body parts or whatever. So we wanted something that is tamper-proof. So that is why the casket was changed in the first place.
And so you can confirm that right now he's lying in a tamper-proof casket. But getting that tamper-proof casket, obviously, as you're saying, you wanted a tamper-proof casket. Where had you gotten the idea that somebody may want to tamper with his body, somebody may have an interest in any of his body parts? And could this really be the reason why you guys have decided against the mausoleum and not exactly the issue of trying to cut costs?
True, he wants to be, he said so. So, we are trying to follow his wishes.
But just to interject there, you have given me that the bit of the wish, indeed, and we totally agree. But you still haven't told me where the idea that you need a tamper-proof casket, because he didn't say he wanted a tamper-proof casket. The idea of wanting that tamper-proof casket and the fact that they may be interested in tampering with his body, where did that come from specifically?
It came from him, because he said to his wife, to Auntie Grace, that, if and when I'm gone, don't leave my body, and be careful, people want to use my body. It was him who said it to the former First Lady. So we knew that, spiritually he probably knows something.
That also speaks to the fact that we also didn't see him.
From what we see, what we read, they are handling the funeral in a manner African funerals must be handled, to respect the dead, to bury them with dignity. President Buhari died in London. He was brought home. We too have shown that example by burying all the 5 before the 6th president. Near here. I think it's just behind, isn't it? Near here. All the 5. So we've established a tradition, protocols, in line with the African culture. So we must continue with that culture, no matter what challenges, what difficulties there. And I can't say that we've continued engaging the family quietly. Maybe I should confirm that. We've continued engaging the family quietly, because that's what it should be. And we do hope that consensus will be reached. And I want to ask Zambians, first, thank you for your patience. And secondly, to ask you to retain that patience as discussions continue.
How can you allow somebody who has murdered your son or your daughter and you are still mourning to come and attend the funeral and be made to speak at the funeral?
But how good your son
was. And you know about it, you say, wait a minute, what's happening? And I think I can just say the whole thing, I summed it up when I spoke to one guy. I said, because how can you, Ambassador, a Catholic, be remembered in a Jehovah's Witness hall?
Yeah.
Amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoza kula kuivukisha Anate pochimo Wimbo wa temenu wa katongi Awazunga wajita katongi na kula kuivukisha kateka Kaipuku muna kapona Nenseko siove pameso Yangu ama umebaya Iyaba baba ume Ya baba ume
Kateka wabantu Twakulila lelo twakulila Shika kukonke milimo shove
Ale filamba Fiena minta pengo sile Deti kume moku londolole avale Lilo mwingi
Iseko mwingi mwakwete Iseso mwingi mwakwete Mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
Katusi muchi wakege Wali bomba kale Lomba mwatuja tuleli lake Mupanga chiba
Penda Mupanga mwine Oya mwine Ide dalila
Kangu ya mama ume Ala nacho mwabye Mama Ukula bevyo watito mwingi Ibisebo wapagino mwingi Ukuchinjo luzako kumoneko busaka Mama Utituwa na basiadi Chagwa katuse